Again to the Pet Show. Are you being hounded by your Havanese? Does your Himalayan have you in hiding? Is your Pekingese acting a bit prissy? Well, if you love your dogs, if you love your cats, and really want to get inside their heads and understand how they think and why they behave the way they do, or maybe you're just confused about why your cats and dogs do things the way they do them, or maybe you just want to improve their lifestyle, who doesn't? Either way, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. Welcome to the Pet Show on this Memorial Day weekend. Hope everyone's dogs and cats are safe where they should be, in their house, in their home. Hope everyone's happy and everyone's safe. It's a rough time, really rough. I just was looking at a local humane society where I am, and there are 150 dogs over what they should be. Just a whole bunch of dogs getting loose. So I hope you were safe. I hope you had your dogs properly and your cats properly taken care of. Now, remember this. Even though the 4th of July day might be over, there's still going to be fireworks going on tonight and probably tomorrow night. Remember this, though. It's not just the sound of the fireworks. Lots of times fireworks that are shut off may land in your backyard, or you're taking your dog for a walk and they're sniffing on the ground or chewing on something. Maybe gunpowder may explode, may make them sick. So just really be on guard for the next week or so to make sure your dogs and your cats are really, really safe. I got to be honest with you, where I live right now in Arizona, it was pretty quiet last night. Even though fireworks are legal here, you can buy them at the local supermarket. It was pretty quiet last night, so Molly and Willie did pretty darn good. But this is the Pet Show, and that's what we're all about, helping you resolve any issues you may be having with your dogs or cats, or any issue your dogs and cats are probably having with you, whether it be jumping, digging, your cat is scratching, he's not happy with the new cat, not happy at all about that. Your usually housebroken dog is starting to have accidents. Your cat woke you up in the middle of the night. Maybe he peed on your bed. Maybe he refuses to use the litter box. Maybe he doesn't like your friends. Anyway, you get the idea. That's what the Pet Show is all about. The only show of its kind. What we're doing here is we're really helping you and your pets really understand each other a whole lot better and resolve any issues that either one of you may be having with each other. You can watch me live. I'm doing the show live today on YouTube. It's simply youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. We may not be on YouTube for the next couple of weeks, but we're on it today, so check it out, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. The phone number here at the Pet Show, if you have any questions, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. That is the way to go. Yeah, we are live. We don't take off time here on the Pet Show. We're here with you just about every single week. Let me tell you what's coming up on today's show. Obviously, besides answering your questions and helping you resolve any issues, let me tell you some of the topics I want to talk about today. Does your normally dog that listens to you pretty well, he's pretty good, listens 90% of the time, 95% of the time, but for some reason, all of a sudden, you find your dog ignoring you or losing focus from time to time? Does your dog sometimes just look spaced out? They do sometimes, I'm telling you. Why do dogs lose their focus? You know, having trained as many dogs as I've worked with over the years, there are certain times where you have to work with a dog that doesn't have the opportunity to lose its focus because he's on track, either tracking a child or looking for a bomb or whatever they're doing. But in our case, with our average dogs, sometimes they do lose their focus. And generally, you know what? It's not their fault. It's ours. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, also coming up. This is kind of funny. 4th of July weekend, I want to have a good time with you guys as well. Do you ever wonder what your cat would say if they spoke our language? So I got a whole list of them, but some would say things like worship me, or feel my wrath, or I don't really like you, I'm just here for the food. Coming up, a whole list of what cats would say to their guardians if they could talk our language. I think you'll have some good times. But if you can think of one yourself, hey, give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. Also coming up, those of us, that's you, that's me, and I guess the majority of my listeners, those of us that share our beds with our dogs and cats, usually usually display 5 specific traits according to psychologists. So if you're like me and love curling up with your dogs and cats, these traits might explain why sleeping with your pets might reveal a lot about your personality. So don't go anywhere. If you sleep with your dog or sleep with your cats or a bunch of dogs and a bunch of cats, I got some good info for you coming up as well. And also, listen, this is almost August. It's July, but August is coming up around the corner. A lot of people taking vacation, and a lot of people do a lot of laundry before they go away. Don't do it, I'm telling you. Don't wash your clothes. Leave your dirty clothes at home when you're going on vacation. I'll explain why coming up a little bit later. Boy, that shocks some people. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your questions and comments. I do have some great things to give away on today's show. I got copies of my best-selling books, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want. Both, by the way, Random House books. I have those T-shirts that say, None of My Friends Walk Upright. Having trouble keeping those in stock because, as you know, the majority of that money goes directly to my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, so that'll be there as well. I also got some great calming discs and recovery products from Acorn Pet Products, and I also have some air horns, and I'll tell you about the sale. We got a few left that's still going on, but have some air horns to give away. So if you have a question or a comment or just want to find out why your dog's behaving a certain way, great time to give me a call, and I'll take some questions on YouTube as well. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So, just the other day, matter of fact, it was yesterday, I'm out in the yard with Molly and Willie, and you know how much I adore Molly and Willie. They're the best. However, I said, come on, guys, let's go inside. I got to do something. And man, did I get a dirty look from Molly. She looked at me like, wow, what did you say? I said, let's get inside, guys. So my question to you, maybe I'm a little eccentric, maybe I'm a little crazy. Maybe I watch my dogs and more than anyone else. So I want to share this with you, because am I the only one? Does your dog or your cat ever give you dirty looks? Now, come on. I admitted it. You can admit it too. Does your dog or cat ever give you dirty looks, and why? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, or if you prefer, you can YouTube me at youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. As I said, plenty of time for your calls, lots of great stuff to give away on this show as well. Also, I'm going to talk about the last couple of weeks. I've been reading letters specifically that my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund has donated to, and you guys have really responded. You know these are groups that really need you, not big city groups, small town moms and pops that do the bulk of the work. I'll share some more of those with you later on today's show. And if you want to help me, you can always go to hugsandkissesanimalfund.org, totally tax deductible, hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. So plenty of time for your calls, lots of great stuff to give away. And I'm going to tell you about an argument. I usually leave my personal life out of it, but I'm telling you about an argument I had with my wife, Denise. You all know the lovely Denise. Does bulk of the work, and I take the credit for it. But anyway, I don't wear shorts. I don't wear shorts. I don't know how else to say it. I live in Arizona now, 110, 111, 112 degrees, and I'm out there in jeans. And Denise is looking at me like, you are absolutely crazy. You have shorts. You can afford shorts. Why don't you put on a pair of shorts? I don't wear shorts. So that's the argument. The big argument between Denise and myself is shorts. And what do you guys think? You know, I grew up on Long Island. I grew up in a nice neighborhood, but a lot of my friends were kind of tough guys. And the bottom line is none of them wore shorts. And I doubt if anyone, maybe they are. They all moved to Florida. So I wonder, they probably are wearing shorts. I'm probably the only one who is not doing. So anyway, shorts or no shorts? What do you guys think? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-575. Now, by the way, I do have nice legs, so it's not that. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. You know, I hate to start with this call, but I'm going to start with it because it's something so many of my listeners have more than one dog. And what happens if you have more than one dog and one dog has to cross the rainbow bridge? So let's go to my friend Chris. Let's go to Chris. And Chris, you with me in Santa Clarita? Hey, Chris, welcome to the show. I know it's a tough day, so why don't you tell my listeners what's going on?
I'll do my best. We have two Goldens. Our older one is about 10 and a half. We've had him since he was 8 weeks. Our other golden is about 5.5. We've had her since she was about a year and a half old. She's everyone's neutered, I guess you could say.
Sure.
About 5-6 weeks ago, they were out playing in the yard, and things happened, and he blew out his right rear ACL. So, taking out for surgery and all the other stuff going on with it and going in to see the doctors. He seemed to be acting just fine. And then suddenly, beginning of the week, he just stopped eating. And, golden retrievers, they're the sharks of the dog world. So they eat all the time. And so I took him into the vet, and they ran checks on him, and we found out there was a lump on his neck, like underneath his chin. And they did some more checks, and he came back and said it's probably lymphoma. And then they ran X-rays and found lymphoma in his chest and also behind his back legs. And then his spleen looks quite enlarged. And
so I'm looking from what you're telling me. Obviously, I'm reading the computer. You're going to have to make a decision and have him cross the rainbow bridge. And I guess your question to me is, how's the other dog going to react? Is that it?
Yeah, she's very anxious.
Okay.
She loves him so much.
Yeah,
and dealing with her.
Yeah, here's a couple of things.
He didn't want to go outside this week, and she didn't want to go outside unless he did.
Yeah. A couple of things you need to remember. Number one is that grieving is normal for you. Grieving is normal for your pets. So what we need to understand is grieving's okay, but you need to take some time and distract the surviving dog a little bit. Because what happens is they can go into a deep depression if you don't distract them a little bit. Let them grieve, sit down and have a conversation. We both lost our best friend, and cry together. I've done that a million times. Cry together with her, talk about the good times, but also say she's better now. She's crossed the rainbow bridge. No longer is there any pain. Now, I know that's easier said than done, and I get it. However, the best way to deal with grieving is not by over snoogling and whatever you're doing. That's okay for a couple of minutes at a time, but distracting the dog. Maybe if she has another dog friend, putting them together for a few minutes at a time. If you normally walk her in one specific area, maybe walk her in a different area so she can get her nose used again. She's going to grieve and you're going to grieve, and I'm telling you, it's okay. Cry together. I know what that's like. Sit down and cry together, but also sit down and have the conversation. The whole family can get it. You're all going to grieve. It's going to take some time, but the more distraction you use, the easier it's going to be, not only for you, but the easier it's going to be on the other dog as well. Now, there are going to be times where you're just going to lose it. You're just going to say, all right, there's nothing I can do. Go into another room by yourself. Let those tears flow. After they've flown, come out and have a conversation. Don't keep constantly being depressed around the dog. Otherwise, we'll never get her out of it either. That's where we need to be right now. It's not easy. It doesn't happen. What I'd like you to do, though, is if you go to my website, there's a section there called Ever After, which I'm very proud of. Go to where, on the top and click down. And these are kind of letters and things that people have written specifically in situations like yours and other situations. It's never easy to say goodbye. You've done everything you could do. You've been to the vet. You've done all the tests you can possibly done. I'm sure your vet is qualified. If it wasn't, I would have recommended you go to an oncologist. But 11-year-old golden, I think everyone's made the right decision at this point. If there's pain involved and there's no possibility in the future, have that conversation with the other dog. Distract the other dog. I think it'll make all the difference to you. But again, don't be afraid to grieve, and don't let anyone let you think that grieving for a dog or a cat is abnormal. It's totally normal, so go ahead. We'll all cry together. I have tears in my eyes just thinking about what decision you have to make. Hope that helps you out a bit, Chris.
Yeah, our concern about her is that she's so anxious, and just trying to get a way of calming her down.
Let me do this.
Your
Obviously,
suggestions about other dogs and activities are very wise.
Yeah. Yeah, well, other dog, that's good. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you something. It's kind of unusual, but it's a little different. So, Chris, follow my advice. Check the website out, thepetshow.com. Go to the Ever After section. In the meantime, let me just put you on hold. I want to send you something. It's kind of interesting, pretty hard to find. It's called a calming disc. It goes on the collar of your dog. It's made by a great company called acornpetproducts.com. And that's what they specialize in. They specialize in calming discs and recovery products for dogs. Chris, if you have any other questions, give me a call. If you want to call me after you have to make that decision, I'll cry alongside of you. And it's never easy, but just remember, every day that this dog lived with you was the best day of this dog's life. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to you, Joyce. We'll get to you, Christine. Great time to give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'll take some questions or comments on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch on YouTube and see the face, I'm not wearing shorts, that I guarantee you. The phone number, you can go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Quick break, then right back at you. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. I love July 4th. I love Memorial. I love all the holidays. I'm such a patriot and just really love this country. I really, really do. We have our problems. We have our flaws. We have our disagreements, but there's not a place on earth I would rather be. And I've been around a few times. Hey, the phone number here at The Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. I told you I have a list of things that our cats would say if they spoke our language. I'll go throughout the list little by little. One of the things they would say is, I get it, your lap, my rules. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Great time to give me a call or shoot me a note on YouTube. But right now, let's go to, some great calls coming. Let's go, I'll take you guys and let's go to Joyce and then Christine. Right now, Joyce in Long Beach. Hi, Joyce. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Joe. I'm Warren. I love you. I've been one of your listeners for 45 years.
With or without shorts.
I love you all.
My friend
little girl
Pam
is 14 and a half.
Yeah, good.
She's a Havanese, and she has recently turned blind and deaf.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But lately, she has been knocking her food over, getting her nose and knocking her bowl over. And I wonder why that is and what I can do to stop her.
Well, first
She'll
of
eat
all,
the food off the floor.
Well, first of all, the fact that she's lost her hearing and her sight, and also probably her sense of smell is not as strong as it might have been.
I thought it got stronger.
If it were a younger dog, I would say yes, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But age can really affect our way the way we smell as well. So here's the scenario. You said she's how old now?
14 and a half.
14 and a half years old. I can give you a resolution to the problem, but I'm not going to.
Put the food on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. 14 and a half years old. I don't care if she eats it off my forehead. I know exactly what you're saying, and it's very difficult for some people to understand. And as much as we love our pets, that as they get older, there's going to be changes in their behavior. They're going to change the way they do things. Some of it's going to be cute. Some of it's going to be sloppy. Some of it's going to be messy. They may lift their leg occasionally in the house. But at 14 and a half years old, you know what?
Oh, I don't care about that.
That's my point exactly. If you called me up and said, "Hey Warren, I can't go near her. She's biting me. She's ripping me apart. It's like Cujo moved into my house," then I'd help you out. The fact that she's knocking her food over, no big deal. Let her eat off the floor. Feed her on a paper plate.
She wants. I love her to
That's
death.
exactly, almost anything she wants. That's exactly the way to approach it. And I think that's the way most pet people really kind of feel, is that as our dogs get older, there's going to be a lot of changes. And what really makes me nuts, and here it goes Warren on the tangent, what really makes me nuts is when people see changes similar to what you're seeing, even less than what you're seeing. Very often I'll take an older dog or to the shelter because all of a sudden the dog doesn't have and I could never understand that in the life, why you would do that, how you can possibly take something that's adored and loved you and turn your back on them when they're in the last stages of their chronologically challenged life. I don't get it. I never will. It's never going to make me less angry. But I thank God I have listeners like you. Thank God I have listeners. I'm looking at my YouTube like my friend Joy. Thank God, Pam, I have listeners like that because they understand that I may be eccentric, but not that much more eccentric than most of my listeners. And you know what, Joyce? Bless you. I understand where you're coming from, but 14 and a half years old, give her a hug and a kiss for you every day and one for me. How's that sound?
I do. And I would go to the shelter and get that dog right out and give her the best last years of her life.
Well, you got that absolutely right. Anyway, listen, Joyce, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. I am sending you a T-shirt that says none of my friends walk upright. You know, there's a lot of people in my field that approach this a little bit differently than I did. Your dog has to be reactive. Your dog has to respond. No, yeah, they have to be trained. They have to be educated. They have to live within the family. But when they get a little bit older, there's going to be changes in their behavior. Look at changes in my behavior. I'm not going to go specifically what, but there's been changes in my behavior as well. Interesting. Anyway, my friend Pam, she writes me a note. And she goes, where is it? I didn't see it. Anyway, Warren, wear shorts so you can show off the tattoo of Rio. I have a big tattoo on my right leg of my dog, Rio. Yeah, she can have a horn versus the T-shirt. That's fine. You can tell her that, Alex. So here's the bottom line. I can't, Pam. I love you, but I can't. Where I grew up, it's the people I hung out with would beat me up. I wore shorts. I know Denise, who grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, doesn't get it. None of the people that live in my neighborhood get it. But I just don't wear shorts. Does that make me weird? Maybe it does. Hey, great time to call me. I got some open lines on this 4th of July weekend. I'm here live. You know what? I don't ever give up. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. As always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. Lots of great stuff to give away as well. Also coming up on today's show, I don't often get to talk about, the last couple of months I've been, because people have been asking me. For those of you that used to watch MTV. I guess MTV's still on the air. No, maybe it is. I don't know. But for those of you that watched MTV, I'm going to tell you about a group that appeared on MTV, and I'm going to tell you how I had to have FedEx to me. That's right, FedEx to me, a scorpion, a tarantula, a centipede, and a Madagascar hissing cockroach. And not only were they sent to me, but they expected me to train them to respond to what they wanted them to do. I did the spot. It aired. It was a rock group called Timbuk3. Not Timbuktu, Timbuk3. I'll talk more about that later. And yes, no, they weren't sitting and staying and lying down and rolling over. They didn't speak several languages, but I did get the tarantula, the scorpion, the centipede, all in the same location. Even the Madagascar cockroach, and they all kind of got along. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. I got open phone lines, got plenty of time. I know it's tough to get through sometimes. So the question of the day is pretty simple. Come on, guys, admit it. Do your dogs and cats ever give you dirty looks, or your horses or your birds? I get dirty looks all the time. When I say goodbye to Molly and Willie, man, do I get the look like, where you going? Who are you going to be with? You're not playing with other dogs out there, are you? Do you get dirty looks from your dogs or cats? Give me a call. Maybe I'll send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is... we're back on the Pet Show. You can never interrupt the Star Spangled Banner. I had to stand up during the playing of the Star Spangled Banner, as I always do. My Tunnel to Towers T-shirt I'm wearing today. Gosh, it just. Well, Yankee Doodle Dandy, George M. Cohan, I watch it every year. It's just, I don't know. I just don't. If I hear the Star Spangled Banner, maybe it's my veteran background. Maybe it's my experiences overseas. Maybe it's my life and death situations. But when I hear that national anthem, I don't care where I am, who I'm with, what's going on. Rest assured, I'm going to stand up and never interrupt it. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So, I guess this is some kind of a hack, even though I don't know what hack means. But according to some new reports, why pet owners might want to skip doing their laundry before you go on vacation. I caught this and said, what are they talking about? There's something so satisfying about returning home from vacation to a clean and organized home. But pet owners might want to make a small adjustment to their pet travel cleaning routine. If you're leaving your dog or cat at home with a sitter during your vacation, experts suggest not doing a full deep clean before your departure. More specifically, you should consider leaving behind some unwashed clothes that you've worn to make your dogs feel a whole lot more comfortable. So I just gave everyone out there an excuse not to have to do that. Because what do you think? Good idea, bad idea? I kind of like that idea. I really do. I think that, I always tell people very often if they have a new dog or a dog in a different situation, leave some articles around the home and that are unwashed to get the dog more comfortable with it. I think it's a great idea. Good one. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let's go to James in Santa Clarita. Hi, James. Welcome to the show. Hey, James.
Me?
Yeah, it's you, James. Hi, James. It's Warren. What's up?
Clarita.
I'm sorry, El Monte. El Monte. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I just moved you. Go ahead. You're in El Monte. What's up?
You moved me to a better neighborhood. Thank you.
What can I do for you?
I want to take my dog hiking, but I'm worried about snakes and other critters out there. I'd like to let them run loose, but I guess that's not a good idea. And is there horrible
idea? Horrible idea, James. Horrible. First of all, whenever you go hiking with your dog, the dog and yourself should stay on the trail. With the weather we're having now, those snakes are coming out like crazy, and I love snakes too. They have a right to live, but very often they're not going to wander onto the trail. But that's why I always recommend the trail. You can see your dog. You can see yards and yards ahead of you to see if there's anything on there. And the dog, when you go for, and I know I'm going to get heck for this, but this is from someone who's trained dogs to do things that are absolutely unbelievable without a leash on. However, when you go hiking, your dog should never, ever, ever, let me stress that again, ever be off a leash, because a squirrel, a raccoon, a possum, a wolf, God knows what. When you go for a hike with your dog, make sure you do it either earlier in the day before it's warm. Make sure after the sun goes down, make sure you have plenty of water with you. Watch your dog. If they look like they're getting overheated, stop. But again, the bottom line is stay on the trail. I walk every single morning, but I walk real early, like 4:35. It's still kind of dark outside. I have a little flashlight, but I stay on the trail because, believe me, where I am in Arizona right now, you never know what's going to cross your path. So if you're asking me for my advice, hike in the cooler weather, leash and collar. And I don't mean one of those long 16, 20, 30 feet leashes. I mean have your dog on a harness, on a leash, and keep him on the walk. It may not be what you want to hear, but I think it's going to keep your dog a lot safer, James.
Well, is there an elevation I can go to reduce risk?
Reduce risk of what?
Risk of running into critters? Kilimanjaro.
No idea. I have no idea. When it comes to altitude, you would think I would. I don't know. Is there an altitude that snakes refuse to go to? Listen, I've played with snakes my whole life, and I've been in a lot of different altitudes, and I've never seen an altitude. But I guess there are. So yeah, if you want to climb. That question is above my pay grade. So, yeah, I don't know if there's an altitude, but I think even if it wasn't altitude, even letting the dog off leash is dangerous. Go for a hike, enjoy, keep the dog on a leash. Okay, James?
I will do so.
I appreciate the phone call. Oh, guy, I'm sorry. Oh, did I hang up on James? Oh, James, you still with me? Oh, man, I'm sorry, James. You can call back, James, if you want to say something else. I'm quick with the trigger today. 866. Booties are a good idea, but booties aren't going to... What are booties going to do? My engineer, Alex, what did you mean? Oh yeah, well yeah. First of all, you shouldn't be walking your dog in the heat, Alex. But if you're outside and it's really really hot, there are booties made for that. By the way, my friends over at Acorn Pets Product have booties as well. Thank you, Alex, for the information. Booties for your dog. You got booties for your cat, Alex? No, I didn't think so. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let's go to Joel. Joel, welcome to the Pet Show. This is Joel, and this is Santa Clarita.
I love
Hey, Joel,
man.
what's up?
Hey,
thank you.
I got a great success story with my 13-year-old golden retriever at the veterinary's office.
Yeah.
That she was intermittently, kind of occasionally, not eating, very much worried about that, and seemingly constipated when she did eat. And the vet seemed to know exactly what was going on with her. That her not a great subject, but her anal glands had to be expressed, and he did that in front of me, and that was definitely an experience I'll never forget. Because he told me to hold her face while he did it, and she was calm. She was fine, and said, yes, it was a bad situation. And she had bad breath for the last year or two, and from what I understand, that's what caused that as well.
Joe, I know you're not watching. Joe, listen, I know you're not watching on YouTube, but if you were, you'd see me laughing, and here's why. In my illustrious career, these hands have expressed more anal glands than I want to know, I want to remember. It's not the most pleasant job in the world. There were times where I would express maybe 20, 30 a day when I was going to different shelters, okay? That being said, I'm a little older now, a little smarter now, and I got a few more dollars now. So every 6 weeks, because my dog Molly has these anal glands that are always getting filled. Every 6 weeks, I take Molly and Willie to their vet. Every 6 weeks, they love this place. It's their new hangout, and I have them. And they all look at me, Warren, we know you know how to do this. I said, yeah, I do know how to do it, but I'm not going to. I'd rather pay you to do it.
Yeah,
but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'll bring her to the vet. He did it, and she seems like a puppy now.
Like a new dog. Yeah,
mood, her mood. He said that because of her age, she can't do that thing that dogs do on her tush, where she scoots her butt, and they try to do it themselves, I guess, from what he explained.
Yeah, but sometimes sometimes when you see a dog scooting, it could be indicative that they do, in fact, need their anal glands expressed. What a great conversation on July 4th, by the way. Everyone's cooking out there, and we're talking about anal gland. But anyway, it's real important, and people should know that. If you have a dog, for example, we're joking about it, but all joking aside, if you have a dog that's doing the boot scooting outside on his butt all the time, have him checked. It's very, very possible that the anal glands, and they can become impacted, and it's really important to take care of them. So I'm glad it was figured out. I'm glad you found out what to do. And now that your dog did it, go ahead.
And aside from that, I hate wearing shorts. I'm 74, been working out in the gym, and of course, I never worked out my legs as much as my upper body, and always were a little, shy with my chicken legs. And yes, I never wear shorts.
Yeah, but I happen to have nice legs. Just to have a mindset. My mindset is, don't wear shorts. I will honestly tell you, with some of the people I hung out with, a lot of my friends in high school and where I grew up, a lot of them were great. A lot of them went became professional, semi-pro boxers. If I wore shorts, I have black eyes every day. They don't mind going into the ring. They can wear shorts, but God forbid you wear shorts outside the ring or outside. No, I am never going to. You will never see a picture of Warren. Denise, you better not have one. You would never see a picture of Warren in shorts. All right, Alex. You don't want to brought up boots, and now you're telling me I got to take a commercial. Yeah, Joe. Anyway, I'm glad you called. You know what, Joe? I'm going to do this. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you one of those air horns. I know you walk your dog a lot. I appreciate the call. Let me take a quick break, then right back to your calls. Great time to call me or ask me a question. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. The phone number here 866-870-KRLA 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show. America's birthday. Great time to give me a call if you have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior. That's what I'm here for, really. I mean, we're having a good time today, but it's 4th of July weekend. We can have a good time and play a little bit. But if you do have a question about your dog or cat, great time to give me a call. My question of the week was, does your dog or cat ever give you dirty looks, and why? My friend Brian from also lives in Arizona, not too far away from me, just down to 303. He said, my wife and I have Shih Tzus, and that's Shih Tzus is the right way to pronounce it, and they do what we call side eye. That's right, the dogs have side eye. They look at us from the side as if they to say, what the heck are you going to do? Are you guys doing? It's true. Come on, other people out there, give me a call. Maybe I'll send you a great gift. Maybe I won't. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Do your dogs and your cats ever give you dirty looks? And why? Give me a call. Let me know. 866-870-KRLA. On a serious note, though, I want to talk about this for a couple of minutes. Why do dogs sometimes lose their focus? As a professional trainer, behaviorist, having trained thousands of dogs in situations that I really even can't talk about on the air because they're still not maybe a little classified. But anyway, the bottom line is this. Why do dogs sometimes lose their focus? Is your dog normally quite... This is, again, I'm going to be sharing this on YouTube. So if you're not following my YouTube, what are you waiting for? YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. If your dog normally quite obedient, but she seems to sometimes have moments when she looks totally spaced out, dogs also have their bad days and their bad moments and performance times, just like we do. At times, a dog who cannot seem to focus may be tired, may be thirsty, may have to relieve himself, or just may not be feeling well. Or with some older dogs, we joke, it could just be a senior moment. Now, I've had people call me on the air that have had trainers come to the house and say, well, if your dog's lost, it's your fault. And don't worry what the dog... Let me tell you, if you have a dog that normally is well behaved and well focused and all of a sudden that behavior is changing, be concerned. What's causing it? But I also want you to understand that why do we expect perfection from our dogs and our cats and not from us? Are we perfect all the time? Hardly. So if you have a dog that's all of a sudden you're working with him and he's losing focus, take into consideration, maybe there's a reason the dog's losing focus. Rather than getting, and I've seen trainers do this and owners do this, rather than get angry, I told you to sit, I told you to say, why aren't you listening to me? Knock it off. Give the dog a break. Give the dog a break. Maybe there's something going on in his head. Maybe he's not feeling right. Maybe he's constipated. Maybe he's just having a bad day, or maybe a senior moment. Important to remember, and I stress this enough, if your dog is losing their focus, remember, they're no different than we are. Sometimes it changes. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Still coming up on today's show. I'm looking forward to talking to you about this. I would venture to say that the majority of my listeners sleep with their dogs and cats, or at least have their dogs and cats in the bed with them when they go to sleep. I may be wrong, but I would say that 85-90% of my listeners do that. Well, psychologists now say, as much as you trust psychologists, they say that human beings who share their bed with their dog or cat usually display 5 specific traits. 5 specific traits. We're going to talk about that, but I'd love to hear from people. How many out there sleep with their dogs or sleep with their cats? Are you comfortable, sleeping with your dogs or sleeping with your cats? Do you think it's a good idea to have your dogs and your cats in bed with you? And do you really find it nice to curl up with your pets at night? I don't think I've been in bed with so many dogs. Go back a step. I've been in bed with a lot of dogs in my life and a lot of cats in my life and other pets as well. I don't think I could fall asleep. I think the breathing of my pets next to me, their heartbeat next to me, makes me sleep a lot easier. But these 5 specific things, and we'll see how many you have, these 5 specific traits, according to psychologists, you have if you sleep with your dog or you sleep with your cat. We'll talk about that. The question of the day, again, as I said, does your dog or cat give you dirty looks? Mine do. I'm not afraid to admit it. Yeah, every once in a while, Molly and Willie will look up at me. it's not, I was going to say something. It's a good thing. It's a good thing I didn't say. But anyway, it's true. So that's kind of the question. Do you believe, like I do, that sometimes our dogs and our cats get a little upset with us and give us a dirty look? Why is that so far-fetched? Give me a call. Give me a note on YouTube, youtube.com/Warren. By the way, if you are not subscribing to YouTube, I said this last week, I'm going to say it again this week. There are going to be some major changes. And we're going to be able to expand on a lot of issues. And if you love the radio show, you're really going to want to follow my YouTube as well. So go to my YouTube. It's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. There's some great videos already there. There's a great video. By the way, if you haven't seen the podcast I did with my nephew, Michael Rosenbaum, it's on my YouTube channel. Check it out. It's kind of long. You'll probably find out more about me than I need you to know, but I think you'll find it interesting, and I think it'll tell you a little bit more about why I am the way I am, good or bad. I think it's an important interview. And by the way, for those of you that might not be aware, my nephew, Michael Rosenbaum, played Lex Luthor for many years on Smallville. Great actor, great producer, great director. He did a great interview. Tried to get me to do this for quite a long time, years as a matter of fact, and finally I agreed to do this. So check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. And while you're there, subscribe. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me take a quick break, then we'll get back to your calls or any YouTube questions. In the meantime, how many people out there, give me a call. Maybe I'll give you an air horn. Maybe I'll give you a t-shirt. Maybe I'll give you a book. I want to hear from people that legitimately feel like I do. I couldn't go to sleep without my dog or cat. I just couldn't do it. How many people actually sleep with their dogs and cats? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. Quick break. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is a weekend. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're celebrating. We have a whole other hour to go. Plenty of time for your calls. Plenty of time for me to answer some questions on YouTube. youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Or if you prefer, you can give me a call right now at 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Hey, still coming up on the show today, a couple of things that are really important. Number one is I will go over the 5 specific traits. Anyone out there that sleeps with their pet, I'm seeing my YouTube, my friend Gary writes, for us it's reverse. His dog doesn't like to sleep with me. He growls at me when I want him to make room for me in the bed. So I guess the dog doesn't like sleeping in the bed with you, Gary. I guess you're going to have to get a dog bed for yourself. My good friend Joy writes from Rescue Me Inc. And Tiny, I remember Tiny. I remember the day you decided to get Tiny. Tiny was a 150-pound dog. He said he used to sleep right beside me in bed, 150 pounds of cuddle love muffin. Boy, it's so true. Lots of good stuff coming up. We got a whole other hour to go. I'm going to share those traits. It's kind of interesting. If your pet gets prime real estate on your bed, it might reveal more about your personality than you think. People who share a bed with their pet often share 5 profound, that's a word I normally don't use, profound traits tied in connection, compassion, and well cuddling. We'll talk about that. Now, one of the things I was talking about is, and Alex, this is for you too, if your cat could talk, what would your cat say? Let me give you some more of that. I've had enough of those hugs and kisses. Speaking of food, can we change it once in a while? Why aren't my food bowls bottomless? This one I love. This is a cat. This is what they would say to their guardian. Remember 6 feet of social distancing? I missed that. Please just leave the faucet running. Save us both some time. Why are you playing in my litter box? Hey, I just buried that. Take that cat bed back to the store. I already have the perfect sleeping spot. The pile of laundry. And so many more I'll share with you in the next hour. It's so true. I think what often happens, not so much my listeners, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but I really do believe that my listeners, for the most part, are, I don't want to use the word eccentric, but are totally accepting of their dogs and their cats as part of the family. That's why years ago when I came up and I said this whole dominance thing and this whole alpha thing and this whole you got to be them was nonsense. And I believe the majority of my listeners agree like I do, that as long as our dogs and as long as our cats are, I'm looking for a term, are behaved okay, that's fine. Nothing's perfect. We're not perfect. Why do we expect perfection from our dogs or cats? Why do we think that if our dog at 15 or 16 years old that was totally housebroken all of a sudden peed in the house, he's doing it because he doesn't like you? he's doing it to be bad. Maybe he's doing it because he's just going through some challenges as he gets older. That's why, if there's one thing, when I finally say it's time, and I finally say, all right, it's time for Warren to walk alone by himself, if it's one thing that I could leave everyone with forever and ever and ever, it's simply this. Watch your dogs, watch your cats. We can learn so much more from them than they learn from us. The number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Another hour to go. Got plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to. Really want to get inside their heads and find out why they're jumping, why your dog is humping everything in sight, why your cat is waking you up in the middle of the night or refuses to continue using his litter box. If you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat's behavior, or just want to share a great story about a dog or cat you saved, I would love to hear from you this 4th of July weekend. You know, the shelters are full. I hope everyone knows where their dog and cat is. I hope if, God forbid, they get lost, they have their proper IDs on them. So actually all the shelters are having a tough time. They always do 4th of July weekend. If you have a question or comment, great time to give me a call. I got some great stuff to give away. And if you'd like to ask me a question on YouTube, it's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Or if you'd rather give me a call, I'd love to talk to you, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Whatever the situation may be, if you have a question or just want to brag about your dog or brag about your cat or comment on the fact that I refuse to wear shorts, whatever you want to talk about, great time to give me a call. Coming up in this hour, though, I've been kind of teasing a little bit, but I will get to it, I promise. People who share their bed with their dog or cat usually display 5 traits according to psychologists. So I'm going to share those with you coming up in just a little bit. Also, a couple of things that are really interesting I want to get to if we have time on today's show. Number one is chasing other animals. I get a lot of calls from people that walk their dogs and their dog sees another dog or a cat and they chase them. Also, coming up if we have time, I'd love to get to someone called me this week about can I have my dog and my cat if I have allergies, and I put together a whole list of things that people with allergies can do and still maintain their dog or their cat. So we'll take a look at that. And one of the more common things, and usually this is the time of year that it happens, Memorial Day, July 4th, whenever there's a holiday, it's something I call door dashing. And I don't mean the people that bring stuff to your house. How to stop your dog from door dashing. Does your dog see an open door as an invitation to take off on an adventure of a lifetime? Having a door darting dog can be scary and stressful, especially if they ignore you when you try to call them back. So we're going to get to that a little bit later, how to stop your dog from being a dog dasher. Anyone out there have a bolting dog? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call. Your call may help someone else out. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the show. Okay, so I'm broadcasting from Arizona. And as I said in the first hour, it's probably going to be 114, 112 degrees today. And what I love about it, I go walking year round, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. People say, why do you go out so early? Aren't you afraid? There are all kinds of animals, especially where you live in Arizona. Not afraid of the animals. I'm afraid of those that walk on 2 feet. None of those that walk on 4 feet, fly or crawl. They don't bother me too much. But one of the reasons I go that early is it gives me the opportunity to see these animals, whether it be javelinas. You've seen some of the pictures I've shown you of the coyotes that I have these great conversations with. I also have seen many. I haven't seen any. Excuse me. Must have been a hairball. I haven't seen any snakes so far, but I've seen scorpions and a lot of coyotes. Just an amazing thing. But one of the advantages, give me a second here. One of the advantages of going out early in the morning is being able to be walking and watching all these. I don't see them. It's pretty dark out there, but I see these eyes looking at me, and it's just amazing. I just feel I just feel in peace. Am I the only one, or other people feel in peace when they're around animals? No matter what life is doing, a loss of another, a divorce, the lose a job, do animals make us feel better? I really think they do. I think there's something magical that animals have, and for me especially. And I've talked about the tragedies, the loss of my first wife, the time I thought about suicide when I came back from overseas, things like that. Which, by the way, are in that podcast if you haven't heard it. But those are the type of things where animals make a difference. They make you understand that life is precious no matter what you have to do. And I think if someone said to me, I went to school, I studied at Long Island University, which was called C.W. Post at the time, studied in Europe, spent time in Southeast Asia, so I have a pretty good education. But I got to tell you, if I were to take all my educations and put them together, I have learned more by spending one-on-one time or one-on-10 time with the dogs and cats I've had the opportunity to get to know over the years. And I would never give up a moment of that. It's kind of interesting because the relationship that I have and that my listeners have with their dogs and with their cats is special. And it's something that a lot of people that have never had that opportunity don't understand. So don't be afraid to let your dogs know how much, or your cats know how much they're I do all the time. Every once in a while, Molly and Willie, they can be a little, they can be like a Peck's bad boy every once in a while, especially Willie. It's kind of like, I love him, but he can be a little crazy sometimes. And could I teach him not? Yeah, but he enjoys it. I enjoy it. What's the big deal? But sometimes they kind of tucker me out a little bit, and I have to kind of step back and say, let him be Willie. Just let him be Willie. And people say, but Warren, you're a trainer, a behaviorist. You train some of the most advanced dogs in the world. You've trained for presidents. You've done this. You've done that. My own dogs, my Molly, my Willie, my Cisco Scholar before that, my Rio before that. I go through the whole list of names. The only time that I really pushed for perfection is when I was overseas, obviously, or I was training dogs for organizations where the dog had to, whether find lost children, detect a seizure, find the drug, find the bomb. Those are different, but that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about my own pets. My own dogs, are they spoiled? You bet they are. Do I enjoy spoiling them? You bet I do. The other trainers and behaviors out there think I'm crazy because you got to be on it. You got to be the alpha in your dog's life. Yeah, they think I'm a little crazy also. They think I'm eccentric. They think I'm nuts. But you know what? I guarantee that my relationship and your relationship, especially my listeners, your relationships with your pets is so different. It's kind of like equality. Why do we have to believe that we have to dominate just because we walk upright? By the way, check out those T-shirts that none of my friends walk upright. Why do we have to be in charge all the time? Why can't we learn? We take the time to educate our dogs and cats. Why can't we take the time to learn from our dogs and cats? And we learn an awful lot. I've learned more from dogs and cats than I've learned from any walking upright person in my life. Anyway, great time to call me. Got some open lines, 866-870-KRLA. Anyone out there have a reaction with their dog, with the fireworks, and it's going to be the rest of the week. And I'd love to hear from you guys as well. I do have some books to give away, either how to get your dog or how to get your cat to do what you want. I got some of those T-shirts to give away. By the way, those T-shirts I give away that say none of my friends walk upright, when I give those T-shirts away, if you go to the website, thepetshow.com, and you purchase those T-shirts, which, by the way, come in a vast array of colors now, red, charcoal, heather, purple, blue, whatever. If you buy one of those T-shirts, the majority of that goes directly to my 501c3 Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund. And the reason I'm bringing that up is the last couple of weeks, I've read some letters from groups that you've never heard of or will never hear of that do some of the most amazing work when it comes to saving animals all across the United States. These are the small mom and pops that I swore I would try to take care of as much as possible. And that's exactly why I set up the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund after my first wife, Faye, passed away. She was just like me when it came to her compassion and passion for helping animals and encouraged me. So the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund is my own organization, my 501c3. And what we do is I raise money, kind of like the United Way. The money that I raise goes out right away to the small mom and pop organizations all across America. I don't talk much about the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund. I've been talking about it a little bit more the last few weeks, and you guys have come across and made some donations. So let me share a couple of letters from groups, again, you've never heard of, but these are the groups that do the majority of work. I know there's big groups out there. You got the Humane Societies, the ASPCA. They do great work. I would be the last one to deny their work that they do. But remember, they have public relations people on staff on salary. They have a lot of people there, marketing people, and that's great, and I'm glad they do. But when it comes to the small mom and pop in some small town USA that's rescuing animals, they don't have that. They're too busy. They're coming up from their dinner table to go save a dog. Or they're having a garage sale. Or they're having a bake sale to raise $50 to spay or neuter a dog. These are my humane heroes. And when you donate to my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, you can rest assured that 100% of that donation goes directly to these organizations. Let me share a couple of letters with you. This letter came from a group called Fur Fun Rescue in Lisbon, Iowa. You never heard of them, right? Fur Fun Rescue, Lisbon, Iowa. Your grant application was refreshingly simple. We don't make it hard for people. We make it as easy as possible. Thank you for focusing on the mom and pop operations, the little guys who are truly, truly, truly in need. Fur Fun is grateful for our grant from Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, and its mission is to help humane heroes save lives one paw at a time, and that's what we do. So if you're not familiar with my Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, and you want to help me, you can rest assured knowing that that money's not going to be paid on salaries. There's no salaries here. Every penny's going to go. Let me read one more of those letters, and I know I got to go take a break, Alex. This one is from Idaho. Dear Hugs and Kisses, on behalf of Animal Rescue Foundation, thank you so much for your generous donation to help with ARF's fosters, transfers, adoptions, and TVNRs. ARF continues to help local animals in need as we make plans to break ground. Thanks to our donation, this small mom and pop organization in Idaho is going to break ground this year on a shelter to save even more animals. God bless them, and God bless my listeners for helping me support these mom and pop groups. And if you'd like to continue helping me, you can. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can go to hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. You could donate there, PayPal, credit card. If you go to my website, thepetshow.com, you can order you can actually have a click through right to Hugs and Kisses. You can order the T-shirts there. You have to order them through the website. There's a whole thing about it, but I will donate that money right back to hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. So check out hugsandkissesanimalfund.org. Whatever you can give, it's going to make all the difference in the world. Every single penny will go to these organizations that you just heard me talk about, and I'll be talking about them every single week. We have to help the small mom and pops. They're doing the bulk of the work, and they're not looking for credit. They're not looking for anything but a little help. And that's where Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund and you come into play. Thank you every single day for doing that. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. If you have a question or comment, great time to give me a call. If you want to ask me a question on YouTube, you should subscribe to YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I will tell you, if you are sleeping with your dogs and cats, what it means about your personality. Don't be embarrassed. I'm going to share it with you. I do it too, so we'll be embarrassed together if we are. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Cheryl, we're going to get to you. She's got a small dog that won't stop barking. Susan. Only on the pet show. See, I will get to your call. I'm not afraid to take you, Susan. Susan said she rescued a pet cow. I love cows. And Sanvos, I believe the name, is calling from South Carolina. He wants to talk about how to move on after a pet's death. So be patient with me. I will get to your calls. I do promise. 866-870-KRLA if you want to ask a question on YouTube. And again, you hear me, I sound like a broken record, but if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it doesn't cost you anything. There's going to be some major changes. If you like what I do, go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein and subscribe it. Check out that podcast I was talking about. Just before I get to your phone calls, and I promise I will, I've been teasing you guys all day about these 5 traits, according to psychologists, that people who sleep with their dogs and cats have. Number 1, they thrive, people like you and me, we thrive on closeness and shared space. Although nonverbal, that the person finds peace and safety in company, as suggested by the Mayo Clinic. So those people that sleep with their dog or their cat, they thrive on closeness and they thrive on shared space. This according to the Mayo Clinic. Number 2, they are highly attentive to other people's emotions. Pets are often a source of complete acceptance and presence. Allowing them to close, especially in our beds, reveals a strong emotional connection and comfort from those close bonds with animals, reflecting sensitivity and compassion. There again, my listeners. So because we sleep with our pets, yeah, we may be more sensitive and more compassionate. That's a good thing. Also, we embrace affection in all forms. People who sleep with their furry little friends understand that love and comfort don't have arbitrary boundaries. They gravitate towards warmth, especially cuddling, and they have a deep capacity for unconditional love. So those are the five traits that people who sleep with their pets have. They thrive on closeness and shared space, highly attentive to other people's emotions, embrace affection in all forms, gravitate towards warmth, especially cuddling, and have a deep capacity for unconditional love. What do you think? True or not? Give me a call. Let me know. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me get to the phone lines here. We're going to get to all your calls, but right now, let's go to Cheryl in Los Angeles. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I have a 2-year-old Maltipoo that I got from somebody who was given away. It wasn't a rescue exactly, but I cannot stop her from barking. She barks at everything. She'll be laying next to me on the couch, and she just lets out this bark, and she has a very high-pitched bark. And it makes it very difficult. We have a camper. We like to camp. It's hard to take her because nonstop barking. And you campers are all the same noisy lot you are. Listen to me, Cheryl. A couple of things. How old was the dog when you were able to get her? 3 months.
Okay. So, and how old is she now?
2 years.
Okay. And this has been going on for 2 years?
Yes.
And now it's a problem.
No, it's always been a problem. I've tried various things.
Let me go over. I'm sure you said knock it off, be quiet, shut up, don't. What have you tried to keep your dog quiet? And then I'll tell you how to do it.
Just cuddling. Lola, no, that. I've even bought one of those things that give you high pitch thing that we can't hear. That doesn't work.
First of all, I'd love to know how we know the dog hears it.
I'm sorry.
Listen,
Let's know what.
No, first of all, like the dog whistle, how do we know that it really makes any sound?
I don't.
There you go. Let me tell you what's going on.
It doesn't work anyway.
Number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and number 4. Here's what's going on. The fact that your dog is barking and is not stopping is your fault. And let me explain to you why. If the dog is barking and you cuddle the dog to stop, and who doesn't like to be cuddled? If you cuddle the dog to stop barking, you're just reinforcing the fact that if he's barking, he's going to get a cuddle. Just like children, if he's barking and you say, no, bad dog, phooey, wait till that, whatever you do at that point, he's still getting a lot of attention for the barking. And just like kids, dogs will react to negative or positive attention. Your dog, in that case, would be reacting to the negative attention. So that being the case, I said people say, how do they shut up their dog? They would take a little peanut butter and put it in the dog's mouth because the dog can't bark when he has peanut butter. I've heard other people take lemon. I don't believe in any of that. If the dog is barking, what you do is you say, thank you, and walk away.
Okay.
What happens is dogs bark. That's what they do. The fact that they bark a long period of time and continuously is generally based on the reinforcement they're actually receiving from the people they live with. Now, that reinforcement could be no, knock it off, shut up, blah, blah, or it could be cuddling or giving them a treat to help them be quiet. That's not the resolution. Okay, why is the dog barking? The dog is barking, my gut reaction, to get your attention, and she's winning. She's getting your attention. Whether it be a cuddle, whether it be a no, tell her, thank you, I appreciate it, you let me know there's something going on, and just walk away. Walk away. That's the way to resolve the issue. No correction at this point. Now, there are certain behaviors, certain types of barking that need to be resolved, but in your case, it's not a corrective thing, it's lack of reinforcement, which is a big difference. There's a big difference between correcting a problem and stopping what's reinforcing that problem to begin with. Thank God, Germany, for that education. But that's where I want you to be at this point. I think it's going to make a big difference in terms of the barking aspect for you.
Okay, I'll try it.
Listen, Cheryl, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold, and because you're such a lovely lady and cuddle your dog for barking, I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. By the way, in the book, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want, there's a whole big piece on specifically excessive barking, as there is on my YouTube channel or the website. I mean, I'm pushing the website because I know there's a lot of great information, and it's all free. Check out thepetshow.com. Lots of free information there as well. Hey, the phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Susan Sanvos, don't go in. I'm going to get to your calls, I promise. But I want to reinforce the question of the day. Am I the only one who has a dog that gives them dirty looks? You guys are all perfect, smiles, tulips and rainbows and daffodils. Your dogs and cats never give you dirty looks? Come on now, admit it. Either send me a note on YouTube or give me a call on the show, 866-870-KRLA. Maybe I'll send you a gift. But the bottom line is, you know it's true. You know that if you come home late, if you tell, the second biggest lie in the world besides the check is in the mail is telling your dog you'll be right back. You know that's a lie. I do it myself. Hey, Molly, hey, we'll be back in 20 minutes. 4 hours later, I come home. Do your dogs and cats give you dirty looks? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Where's my throat today? Anyway, Susan, I'm going to get to your call. I'm going to take a break, and I'll get to you, and then I'm going to get to you, Sanvos, too. It's a great calls on both. I'm dying to hear about this rescued cow, and I'm also dying to hear from Sanvos. So don't go anywhere. I'll get to your calls, 866-870-KRLA. Also, if we have time today, anyone older enough to remember a TV movie or TV show called The Thin Man? Yeah, I bet you are. I am. And the stars of The Thin Man were Nick and Nora and their little fox terrier named Asta. Now, more than several years ago, Nick and Nora was going to be a big Broadway show. Big money, big investors. So they called me up today, Warren, we need you to find Asta, the fox terrier, and train the dog for Broadway. No big deal. I can do that. So how was I going to find the dog? Well, they decided they were going to hold open auditions at Roseland Ballroom in Manhattan. Anyone who's ever lived in New York and knows Roseland Ballroom, it's a big ballroom. 1,000 people showed up for the audition. The rest of the story coming up. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break, and then we'll get back to your calls, and you'll find out the rest of the story as well. Hey, everyone's enjoying themselves in a safe, sensible way. All right, so quick story, then right back to the phones. Nick and Nora, The Thin Man for Broadway. I'm talking about millions of dollars invested in this Broadway show. Roseland Ballroom, Manhattan, big ballroom, one of the most famous places, been around, I think, since the 30s. I'm up on the stage, and they open up the doors, and all these people come in with their dogs to audition as the part of Asta, a fox terrier, by the way. Many celebrities showed up as well with their dogs. The majority were schnauzers, poodle, German shepherds. I'm looking for a fox terrier. They showed up with every type of dog but one specific dog I was looking for, a fox terrier. And it was a good thing because after all the money and all the time, I finally found the right dog and did a bunch of training with the dog. They never did the show after all that work. Nick and Nora, sorry. The Thin Man, by the way, if you get an opportunity, watch the movie. Dog's incredible. Little fox terrier. All right, let me get back to the busy phone lines. I got to get to this call. Susan's calling me, and she says she's rescued a pet cow. So let's go to Susan. Hey, Susan, how you doing?
Hi, Warren. I have to tell you, you have such a fun show, and you have such a kind heart. I have, yes, I sleep with my dogs. I have a hobby farm in the city of Los Angeles, and when I retired, I got a cow that was going to be slaughtered. A miniature Hereford. They breed them smaller, find them more economical. She was just 6 months old. And I also have some what they call hair sheep, 3 hair sheep that they use for lamb. I pulled them out when they were 10 days old, bottle fed them. I had to call to tell you to give these little guys equal time because my cow is the smartest dog I have ever had. Yes, she gives me side eye. It's actually hysterical. I've recently had surgery, and I have difficulty walking. It's such a shame because I clean the barn, I take care of all these little characters, and the reason why I get up at 5:30 in the morning, despite whatever pain I have, is to be there for my sweet little cow and my sweet little sheep.
You know what, Susan, it's such a great story, and I'll tell you a couple of things. You know, years ago, I had the opportunity of being the head trainer, how about the head trainer, Warren? Let's do that again, for Assistance Dogs International. And they had their base in New York City, obviously. It was a big organization, and they raised a lot of money, whatever. Anyway, I was hired as their head trainer, and they had a location in upstate New York, in a place called Brewster, New York, that was called Green Chimneys. What Green Chimneys was a farm, a working farm with all different animals on there. And when I say a working farm, is what happened is children from Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, really hard areas in parts of New York City. Some of them had seen their mother kill their father or just horrible things in their life. They would come to Green Chimneys. I would be there with the animals, and after weeks, months, in some cases a year of spending time working with the animals on the farm, the rehabilitation process really took hold, and they were able to move on for the rest of their lives. So when people say to me that we rescued this and you rescued this cow and you rescued this, let me tell you, you rescued them, but I can hear in your voice, Susan, they rescued you at the same time. Am I right?
Oh, I adore them. Let me tell you, I am from Brooklyn, and I didn't know hide nor hair of livestock. I went, growing up in Brooklyn, all I saw was asphalt, didn't see land, a mountain. My parents did take me once to a sleepaway camp. Sleepaway, that was very unique in upstate New York. And they had arts and crafts, and they had goodness knows what. Well, I escaped that sleepaway camp and ran to the cow field next door.
There you go. There you go.
And that's what and not only the cow field, but I was going to rescue the little frogs. I was taking trees home, little tiny trees home
Susan,
to Brooklyn. I was digging them up.
A Brooklyn lady. So let me ask you a question. Spumoni Gardens, have you ever been there? Spumoni Gardens?
Pardon?
Spumoni Gardens in Brooklyn?
No. What gardens?
Spumoni. Best of my time.
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
The best pizza in Brooklyn? I'm telling you.
In Brighton Beach.
Oh, you had money. You had money. Good movie, by the way. Brighton Beach Memoirs, a great movie. Hey, listen, I got to move on, Susan, but I'm going to put you on hold. Lovely lady, I'm sending you a T-shirt that says "None of my friends walk upright." I believe there's a picture of a cow on there as well. 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. Let's go to Sanvos calling from South Carolina. Hi, Sanvos. Welcome to the Pet Show. Sanvos? Did we lose you?
Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, hi, how you doing? Yes. What's up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're talking to Warren. What's up?
Okay, am I talking to Warren?
That's who you're talking to. You got me. What's up?
Okay. I'm talking about this. It has been about 3 years. I can't get over. Just a minute. Sorry, tear up right now. I can't get over the last dog I lost. It was a Chihuahua. Her name was, we called her Baby Princess. And, well, she had a strange condition. Not strange, we treated her. She had I'm a retired surgeon. She had a stenosis of her mitral valve, mitral stenosis. So what happened with all the treatment, Betmedin, etc., and she continuously coughed. Sometimes she passed away. If she's walking with me, I carry her. You're like my baby. Not sorry.
All right, so Sambos, let me step in. Let me step in here, Sambos, because I don't want to run out of time. And it's such an interesting call. There are certain souls like you and many of us. We never forget the pets that we live with. We never forget when they cross the Rainbow Bridge. We never forget their loss. But let me tell you the best way. Certain people you might want to speak to. You might want to speak to therapists. That can make a difference. But more important than anything else is don't look at the times that you had to carry her. Don't think about the times where she was older and sick. Remember the fun times. Remember the times you had to chase her because she wouldn't come home. Remember the times she grabbed something off your plate. Remember those times. Those are the times I want you to remember. I got to move on, Sambos. It's a great call. I would love for you, if it's been a while now and you're still having difficulty, every city, every humane, every rescue pretty much has an organization where they can help you go through some bereavement counseling. I used to work with bereavement counselors at the Animal Medical Center in New York, so that's where I would be at this time. But quite honestly, what I would do is go to my website, thepetshow.com, and I want you to read the Ever After section. Give me a call back when we have more time, but great call, by the way. I can tell that you're not having an easy time with it, so either some therapy might be beneficial, but I got to move on, but try to remember the really good time. It's such a difficult time when people, you can hear it in his heart. It was a little difficult to understand. I understand that, but again, it's people that have never had the opportunity to be loved or adored by the pets they live with don't know the hurt and how difficult it is to say that final goodbye. It's really, really a tough thing to do. Let me do this. I got to take a quick break. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show. Indeed, KRLA. Remember to check out my Hugs and Kisses animalfund.org. We're being inundated with small mom and pops that really can use some help, and your donations can make all the difference in the world. So check out Hugs and Kisses animalfund.org. Totally tax deductible. It's a 501c3. It's my own. Every penny goes directly to these small mom and pops across the country. Or if you go to my website, thepetshow.com, there's a click through to Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund as well. And bless you and thank you for every penny you send that saves an animal, and every penny you send goes directly to those animals. Let's go to Jim calling from Culver City, one of my favorite places. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. What can I do for you today?
I would just like to know where that lady, I mean, that's not the reason I call, but I'd like to know where that lady's hugging farm is. There's quite a few of them in L.A. And
they're the Gentle Barn. The Gentle Barn, there's a lot of them in L.A. And it's interesting. I've never been. My schedule has never allowed me. But there's nothing that will make you feel more comfortable than hugging an animal. That's at least the way I feel.
No kidding, and especially after last night of the fireworks, my dogs got just as close to me as they could.
Absolutely.
From inside.
They almost become an appendage when they hear those fireworks.
Yep, they do. And I wanted to tell you where you asked about the question for today about dogs giving you a dirty look.
Yeah.
Right? We have a joke. Our one Cairn Terrier gives us, the Three Stooges Mo. We call her the Mo face because if we do something she doesn't like, or if she's not getting a treat while she's underfoot while we're cooking right away. She has that look, like Mo had, like, why you?
Yeah, pick two. Listen, I'm a Three
Stooges.
The
other side of the coin.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, the other side of that, she smiles, too. You can tell when they're happy because both of our dogs smile and have, can have a worried look or that dirty look.
Any other radio show would have you put away for saying your dog smiles. But on this show, we all agree with you. By the way, it's interesting that you live in Culver City and have a Karen Terrier. As we all know, the Wizard of Oz was shot there, right? And all of the Munchkins and Toto, which was a Karen Terrier, stayed in the Culver Hotel. I think it's called the Culver City Hotel. Anyway, it's that big hotel right by the mansion there. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because Toto had a bigger room and was paid more money than the Munchkins when they shot The Wizard of Oz, and living with a Karen Terrier in that same town. By the way, you guys have you guys have the best restaurants in LA, I think now.
Yeah, we have a lot of good ones. That's right. And I understand that Toto was actually named, his real name was, or her real name, whichever, was Carrie.
Really? Did you know that Rin Tin Tin was a female?
I heard that too, and also heard that there were several lassies.
Yeah, there were several lassies, and they were all males. They were all males. Anyway, great call, by the way. Listen, don't do anything to have your dog give you any more dirty looks, and I appreciate that phone call. Yeah, Culver City, when I lived in Santa Monica, 30 years, 28 years, and Culver City, really, what changes. What a great place that is. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a look at my clock. Gosh, I don't know what to do here. Let me go to Steve in Tarzana. Hey, Steve, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Got a question. My dog has been licking at her paws incessantly for probably about 6 months. Took her to the vet. Vet was not overly concerned about it, but nothing has stopped. We've heard, give her maybe it's an allergy, try a shampoo. We had her bathe. They used an oatmeal shampoo. We had her nails trimmed.
Let me ask you the big question. Is it all four paws?
All four, but mostly the two fronts.
Okay, well, that's the easiest ones to get. We all know that, right? A couple of things. Allergies are obviously a possibility. I don't know what type of lawn you have in the backyard. I don't know what kind of fertilizers.
It's your basic California, weeds that look like grass. I think it's
okay.
But
do you have a gardener?
Yes.
Do you know what type of fertilizers they use?
No.
That's the things you got to find out, okay? It sounds to me, but it's been going on for about 6 months. So generally speaking, when there's a quick change like that, and you've been to the vet did all the blood tests and all that stuff, it usually says to me there's some type of allergy. Now, in many cases, licking paws can actually be a behavioral issue. But from what you're telling me and the way it started, it sounds to me more like an allergy situation. So nothing against your regular veterinarian. Probably the greatest person in the world. But if I were you and this were my dog, this was going on for 6 months and it wasn't stopping, I might want to see an allergy specialist, a veterinary allergy specialist. But in the interim, what I want you to do is I'm going to send you to a website. It's called acornpets.com. Acorn, just like the tree. acornpets.com. Great organization. Let them know I sent you there. They have calming discs, but they also have recovery, little booties and other things and stuff that you could put on the dog's feet as well. Check them out. Give me a call back in a couple of weeks, Steve. I'd like to go further if that doesn't seem to resolve the issue with you. But it sounds to me, from the way it started coming up, it sounds to me like there's some sort of allergy. If it was 1 foot, I might be a little different. Say maybe there's a sore, maybe there's something going on that the vet missed. But if it's all four paws, primarily the front, sounds like an allergy. Could be something that you use to clean your floors in your house, new cleaning equipment. Maybe it's the stuff you put on the floor. Who knows? But it could just be something outside as well. So I would check with a veterinary allergist, and I'd love you to give me a call back and let me know what the results are, okay?
Real quick, Warren, what about, we have heard that giving the dog Benadryl could be a good Benadryl
is for an emergency situation. If, for example, the dog was bit by a say, stung by a bee of some kind. But using it consistently may not be the way to go. Let's find out what the dog is allergic to. Otherwise, you're going to give him the Benadryl, then he's going to go outside in a week or two, and the same thing's going to happen over again. Let's go to the allergist. It may be more expensive at the beginning, but it's going to save you a lot more money and stress in the long run.
Okay. Thank you.
Give me a call back, Steve. Let me know how you're doing. I appreciate that phone call. Quick break, then we're going to try to get to Neil in Venice. But right now, I want to talk to you about... Hi, Nell. Welcome to the show. I got just a couple of minutes, and I know you want to help people, so recommend the way.
Yes, real quick. Thank you, Warren. I just wanted to say that the rainbowbridge.com was really helpful to me when I lost my last dog, was a Chihuahua mix named Annie. They have chat rooms, memorial services, ceremonies, a whole bunch of stuff to rainbowbridge.com, real simple. And then I had a quick question that my dog, Millie, will bark at people when they walk by my car, as an example. But if that person were to pet Millie, she's very friendly, very loving. She just barks because she wants attention. And I can take it off the air, however, just that's my question.
Yeah, it's not, I don't even see it. I don't even see it now. I'm gonna listen on the air. I don't even see it as a problem. The dog's in the car. First of all, you should never leave the dog in the car without you being there. But if the dog's in the car with you and someone walks by and she barks, she's just being a little possessive, a little territorial, or maybe she just wants them to play with her. Nothing to be overly concerned about unless she's barking for 15, 20 minutes at a time, which I've had to deal with over the years. I don't know where the time goes. Just remember, when I get off the air here, in about a minute and a half, I start my international show on Radio America, Armed Forces Radio. Same type of show. I give away the same gifts, similar topics, except the questions come from all over the U.S., Canada, even Guam. Let me write this phone number down. It's the same show. Write this number. It starts exactly 5 minutes after 1. The phone number, and it's toll-free also, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. Now, understand there's a possibility we may not be on YouTube for the next couple of weeks when I broadcast the show. We'll talk more about that on my Facebook. And if you're not following me on Facebook, facebook.com/Warren Eckstein, Instagram at Warren Eckstein, and most importantly, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Hope you all have a very safe rest of the July 4th weekend. Remember, know where your dogs are, know where your cats are. Just because it's July 5th and tomorrow's the 6th, the fireworks is going to go on until Monday. Keep your dogs in a quiet room with the radio on and be real careful about opening and closing doors. Know that they're behind some barrier so they can't run out and become one of those break loose pets and a really difficult time to find. So please be careful. Enjoy it. Happy 4th of July to everyone out there. And remember, you do live in the best country in the world. God bless America. I'm Warren Eckstein. You've been listening to The Pet Show.